what personalized learning means is that we want students to be engaged in learning based on their passions and their strengths. We want them to understand, we want them to create their own learning pathway. Not just a matter of a teacher looking at data and then assigning, you work on this and you work on that, right? But really empowering the students with the skills and the resources to understand how they know how to script a pathway, that they understand where they want to get, how they're going to get there, what kind of help they may need, and that the teacher's really engaged in that as well. But it's just that philosophy of we're not just going to teach them everything just in case they need to know it, but we're going to make sure that we empower them to learn it just in time so they can apply it to the real world problems that they're trying to solve or the pathway they know they need to script. So it's more about empowerment, student agency, student autonomy, other words. It's just them understanding why they're learning as opposed to just doing what their teacher says they need to do and getting past that thing just because we've had that so many times. Just tell me what I need to do to get an A, right? And an A would be on that same size fits all, model. So hopefully all the students are not working on the same thing at the same time.
I would say in the same way. We know they have unique needs and abilities. We want students to know what those unique needs and abilities are, be able to self-advocate because we know they're going to get into this big world when they leave elementary school, but we want them to know kind of what they need and how to get those needs met, and they become the best advocates for themselves. And we've had students, to serve kind of as an example, somebody who really struggles, let's say, with math, and when they're trying to script their pathway for math, they can say, I think I'm going to stick with fractions because I just finished doing addition and subtraction of fractions, so I think I want to move now into multiplication because it's fresh in my mind and I tend to forget things. We've heard kids say that. We know that some kids who are really high advanced learners don't want to have a one-size-fits-all approach where they sit and have to wait for everybody else to set the pace when they're ready to move on. And so we see them kind of coming to life and being able to own their own learning, to be really empowered. And we see such a take-charge attitude because they're getting exactly what they need when they need it. So that part's really huge for us.
Yeah, so our big picture thinking was broad. It was bigger. It was more about how do we do personalized learning within a really broad, flexible curriculum, and how having a flexible space, flexible schedules, like Mindy said, and a flexible role as a teacher all combine to really personalize and help students own their own learning. So it was, the flexible schedule thing was really hard. We aren't a high school. We don't have to change subjects every hour, and that Sells and Bells philosophy. But in elementary school, we have tended to do that. Like we'll do writing first thing in the morning, then we'll go into reading, and then we'll do our math. And typically we'll save the most engaging subject, science, till the last 30 minutes of the day maybe. So our conversation was how we really flex that schedule, how we get rid of those silos, that Sells and Bells philosophy in elementary, and how we have that flexible schedule across the whole day. We were messing with the teachers' minds with all of that. It was like, where do I start first?
Yeah.
The spaces was the easiest
huge.
one.
Even breaking up computers, shifting, just a variety of heights and desks. If you have, a child that's kind of wiggly and they're forced to sit in a seat all day long, you're probably just asking for some behavior management issues. But if that child can stand, or someone can lay on their tummy on the floor and still be very productive, you can really capitalize on that. So we've seen some things that have just grown from that, which is really awesome. And then we see the flexibility in the schedule emerging, and it probably would not have been as easy had we just said, you can't do Sells and Bells. Like, we're not doing literacy blocks anymore. It just really morphed into that. And they have a greater understanding once other things kind of came into place, and they realize it's creating structures and a management. And obviously a child who wants to sit by their friends on the floor might have the teacher step in and say, goodness, it looks like you're creating a problem for yourself and somebody else, so I'm going to ask you to move over here. We had a student last year who was pretty adamant about having a desk. She really just wanted to have a space for herself that she could always rely on, kind of that sense of predictability, and wanted a place to put her stuff. And we really don't have a one-size-fits-all approach for anybody. So she needed the desk, and she was given a desk. And she kind of pushed that desk wherever she needed it. If she needed to work in a group setting, she might be more apt to do that, but she might take the desk over there with her too. But I think that's the beauty of it, that it wasn't just saying everybody had to learn to work within this space. We know that each child has a need, and they're not going to be a productive student if they don't have that need met.